Okay, you're in for a treat. Our next speaker is the shy and quiet Tim Campbell. Again, you will find him and you should follow him on his social channels, and everything about this man I adore from the moment I met him. 3 fun facts: he is afraid of sea life, so he won't even go to Ripley's aquarium. I don't even think he orders fish sticks. He didn't talk till he was 5, and he hasn't stopped since. And he smells everything before he eats it. He will not put anything in his mouth until he smells it. I'd suggest not going out for lunch with him. Tim, come up and share your fuck up.
I don't want to fuck up before I even start. Okay, hello, KW. My name is Tim Campbell, and I fucked up. I can't wait to tell you about this. Okay, so here's the tea. I work in social media marketing, right? And a while ago, I took on a client that I should not have taken on. They were referred to me, and I met them the first time, and something in my gut was like, oh, Tim, don't do it. Don't take on this project. But I was at the start of my career. I was like fresh off the boat into social media marketing, and I thought, I have to do this, and I really want the money. So I took it. That's really my first fuck up, was taking on a project I really should not have. So I take on this project, and it's these folks in this industry, and they think they are all of that in a bag of potato chips, and they're great, and they say, Tim, we want to become influencers in our field. What new social media marketing manager doesn't want to be responsible for creating an influencer? So I say, yes, I'll do it. So we start. And I say, okay, so you have no social media whatsoever. No one can find you online. No one knows anything about you. And they say, yes. I said, okay, we're going to get you started, and then we're going to make you famous. So we start. It's the first week. They don't really give me any content. They're running a really, really busy, successful practice. And we start, and I say, okay, your social media has started. And they go, great. How is it going? And I said, well, by every metric measurable, we're doing great. So we get to the end of the first month. I say, okay, guys, it's the end of the first month, so I need you to write me a blog. They were in a really specific and niche industry. I was not qualified to write it. They both had bachelor's degrees to do what they did. And they said, oh, no, we're way too busy. We don't want to write anything. Okay, fine, don't write anything. You got to know, I am not a shy, quiet, and demure pushover, no matter what anybody says, no matter what kind of laugh you hear from me. But these people, I don't know, I was just not having it, and I'm like, just preserve the relationship, make the money. I don't want to say I totally lack integrity. I think I did in that moment. So I take it on, and we keep going for another month. And we get to the end of the second month, and I say, okay, we're at the end of the second month. I need some selfies now. Because if you're going to be an influencer, you got to show your face. And they were like, oh, no, we're way too private for that. We don't want that. Okay, so you won't write anything for me, and you won't give me any selfies. I will make this work. And they said, oh, but before you go, after this meeting, they said, how's the social media going? And I said, well, by every metric measurable, we're doing great. If you haven't gotten to this point in the story yet, we were not doing great. More on that in a moment. So we keep going, and they are giving me nothing, and I am just pulling it out of my behind, which is another fuck up for another time. And we get to the end of the third month, and I go, okay, we're at the end of the third month. I need some video content now. And they said, no, did you not hear us about the selfies? We are private. We're not showing up on video. So I said, fine. So I just keep billing them, and I just keep working with them. And we get to the end of 5 months. We survived this for 5 months. And I'm just like, I got to make a paycheck. I'm brand new to this. I just want to make some money. And they finally say, Tim, we are 5 months in. What have we got? I said, well, by every metric measurable, we're doing great. My client knew at the end of 5 months, I had nothing, they had nothing, but this horribly failed relationship. The relationship did not terminate well. Could have used a lawyer. They left poorly, I left poorly. You can't even make this up. If you do search me out online, the reviews are there. They tried to leave negative reviews. I did as much damage control as I could. And I swore to myself, I will never take on a client like that again. Someone who in my gut, I was like, this is not gonna work, we are not gonna be friends, and this is not gonna feel good. This has to be a happy, healthy, working relationship. I'm happy to say now, as a social media person, when I meet folks and we talk about social media, I go for a happy, healthy relationship first. I say, one of the first things I say is, are you okay with showing me some selfies and some videos? And if they say yes, we're good to go. But I have learned to take on relationships that are going to be happy, healthy relationships first. And to lead with integrity. This was my colossal fuck up. Thank you, friends. Uh-oh. The boss man is here.
If he'd only come out of his shell, it would have been a...
But I'm so shy.
Tim, tell us what you're doing now. How do we find you?
Well, you can find me according to Google Earth. When you've got a personality this big, no, if you on any social media channel at Tim SMS. I particularly love Instagram and LinkedIn. Hey. These days, I do social media and digital marketing for small businesses, impact-driven organizations. People who care about people is my specialty.
Thank you. Someone has to have a question for this introverted individual. Drag it out of them. Any questions about or situations where you've had a wrong customer and you've had to terminate him, it just didn't make a lot of sense. But any questions for Tim? Stand up, shout it out.
Okay, so my question is, what drove you to work for yourself instead of somebody else? What were you doing before all of this began?
Ooh, so the question is, what was I doing before I was self-employed? Do you have 100 hours? Every job you can think of, I have done it. I did not complete my university degree. I was studying social work. Let's laugh about that for a second. I've done everything: banking, retail, fast food, stand-up, blogging, like everything. The last job where I was employed, I was doing marketing and fundraising for a nonprofit in Los Angeles. So, thank you. Thank you for your question.
Any other questions?
Mosen.
How do you help a client who has unrealistic expectations for their social media and they want instant results?
He's not talking about me.
Oh, this is my favorite. The question is, how do you manage expectations when a client wants immediate, huge results? So I shut that down immediately. Don't get me wrong, like there are certain approaches that you take to people. Some people you be a little more gentle with. Those ones I am blunt. The other thing that I do actually is I will share case studies of influencers and success cases, and I will always highlight, because to date, and I am open to be challenged on this, every single case study for success involving social media took time. Every single one. So I show them that. Great question. Thank you, Mosen.
How do you drop your non-value added clients now?
Ooh, that's a great question. The question was, how do I drop my non-value add clients now? So these days, I honor our commitment. I will work with them as much as I can. And I am super humble and super gentle when I say, we're no longer a great fit because I see this other need. Can I say this? I think I can say this because she's not anywhere in the region. I had a client who was going into a business, and her business was, she was hoping it was going to fuel her life and change her life. And I told her, I said, I think you may benefit maybe from some mental health counseling and from some other supports. I didn't say it like that, like mental health counseling. I think what I literally said to her was, I think you would benefit from professional supports in your personal life. It's funny when it's like this and it's on stage. She was very receptive to it. And I will have you know, she called me 2 days after we terminated the relationship, and she said, I thought about it, and I hired a coach. We already had our first meeting, and I think this was a good call. So that's like my one, like it worked out well, but otherwise, long story to your question, I'm very humble, and I say, I don't think we're a good fit because of this, and I always take care of them and make sure they're taken care of by someone else. Great question, thank you.
Yes, stand up. And loud, please. This is my wife, Lisa.
Say, who is your favorite influencer?
Who is my favorite influencer?
Careful.
Okay, so I don't know if this is an influencer as much as a celebrity, but I'm kind of obsessed with a drag queen named Trixie Mattel. Is anyone familiar with Trixie Mattel? I love her. Yeah. I think if I had to choose one other, I don't love her because she's an influencer. I love her as a human because we've become friends. But her name is Christine Kissick, Brogs at Home. If anybody knows her, she's like lifestyle, home. Now she's had a baby who's the cutest, and I love her. So, yeah, good question. Thank you.
Have you developed any sort of a screening questionnaire for when you meet with a new client to make sure, like, so can you fill this out? Let's go over stuff.
That's a great question. So the question is, do I have any pre-screening like questions before I work with someone? Yes. People don't always realize it. I'm actually very methodical, especially in the discovery process. And there are actually 4 key questions that I ask to determine that we're going to be a good fit and that things like this are taken care of. Great question. Thank you. Yeah, excellent question. So they are loosely, tell me why this business is good for your soul, or I figure out like why it's really, really important to them. Tell me in your own words what actually makes you different. I hear a lot of people tell me why they think they're different. I'm like, no, get to the soul of why you're different. I ask, has anybody else other than you or your family ever validated your idea and told you this was a good idea? And tell me what your biggest and wildest dreams are for this business. Those things really get to what's important to them inside, but also that they're dreaming and thinking big, and that other people have validated the idea.
Can you tell us your 4 reasons why, or the answers to those questions?
Yes.
I'll take a seat. He's going to be up here for a while.
No, no. It's really quick, I promise. So why is this important to my soul? I learned this in school studying social work. I went to school where Indigenous lifestyle was bred into our schooling. So we were taught actually by an elder that everyone has a word, everyone has a purpose. My word and my purpose is storyteller, to break down barriers between people and bridge gaps. And that the fastest and easiest way to do that is communication. The most powerful person in the room, in any room, is the storyteller. So that's my big why. Has anyone validated this idea? Yes, a lot of expensive business coaches. Some of them challenged me on it. Don't think about that. My really big dreams for this is that I will just do this like professionally all the time, and strategic consulting. And what was the other one now that I'm forgetting? It's like I've never consulted a day in my life. I actually forget my 4th question. Oh, my big thing is actually just doing this, is the speaking often, strategic consulting, being a generalist, and just caring for people first. Not always being about the money first, being about the people first. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I see another question here.
What do you do now when your gut's like, oh, hell no? What do you do?
That's a great question. What do I do when my gut says, hell no? I try to raise it as early as possible and say, I don't think we're going to be a fit because. Funny enough, a lawyer challenged me and said, hey, you've got to be careful with that because it may look like systemic discrimination and like you have a bias against people. So the actual reason when I actually say no to someone and I turn them away, I say, it's because we haven't said yes enough in our conversations. Sometimes I like to actually approach language like a science. How many times have we said, yes, I'm on the same page with you, you are on the same page with me? If we're not saying yes enough in our first couple of conversations, it's probably not going to be a fit because either I don't get it or you don't get it. It's a great question. Thank you. I think in the interest of time, yeah, I think Jeff can come back now. Give it up for Jeff, you guys.
Tim, welcome to the Fuck Up alumni.
Thank you.